Hey y'all, I'm going to show you something I'm doing here right quick while I'm in process. There's times I get questions or comments, more to the point, about how I do some of the things that I kind of casually mention that I've done in some of my guns. Well, here you see a brand spanking new, just has come home within the last 35-40 minutes, Cimarron Pistolero 45 Colt. Brand spanking new. Of course, now the Derringer came home too. That's in 38 special. Anyway, this came home today, and the first thing that I'm doing is doing away with the brass trigger guard look. Now, you know these guns are essentially the same gun as the Cimarron Pieta Frontier, which is what I'm toting here that you saw in my video yesterday. I wanted another 4 3/4 inch gun, so a couple of dollars cash in my Taurus GX4 little Coyote tan 9mm that I'd never shot. Little impulse buy, it got gone. So it got traded for these two guns and with a little cash thrown in to boot. So what I have done is I have, I hope this is pretty black on screen because it's really, flat black in person. I used, first of all, I used some 600 grit sandpaper, just dry, tore off a few little pieces of it, and I sanded down the brass grip frame and trigger guard. I hear there's a brass coat, I hear there's a protective coating on that brass. I don't know if it's true or not, but either way, went ahead and sanded it down real good with that 600 grit, and then I dipped it in this solution for a while. I put a lid on it and kind of rotated it around. I dipped it in that solution for a while of Birchwood Casey's Brass Black. So what I intend to do to make this more durable is I'm going to, after it's thoroughly dried, since the coating is pretty good on it, after it's thoroughly dried, I am going to take some matte or dull clear coat and just lightly spray it over it to try to lock in the finish. Now, y'all, I don't know how that's going to work. I do know that finish without it is not anywhere near as durable as I would want it to be. And I don't expect that to look like a blued piece of steel instead of the brass, just coated or whatever. But what I want is for it to look more like a steel grip frame, let's say 10-foot beautiful. Will that work? Anyway, I may put back in, add to this video here in a little bit and show you the result, because these have sat here long enough that I believe they are dry enough that I can just about go ahead and spray them with a little bit of clear coat. And we'll see how it turns out. If it don't work, then I guess I'll be sanding them back down, stripping them back down, going back brass black, and just oiling them. But I do believe this is going to work with a clear coat and be more durable. Alright, so I brought you out here in the carport. Apologize for the wind noise. We got big storms and tornadoes and stuff bearing down on us. But I wanted you to see in the daylight what this looks like. This is the brass grip frame and trigger guard of the Pieta Cimarron not Frontier, but the Pistolero. This is what it looks like after I used the Birchwood Casey Brass Black, and I let it dry, dabbed it dry real carefully, not to take any of the brass black finish off of it, because I think it is kind of fragile. And then I went over it with some Rust-Oleum clear coat, matte. No, wait a minute. Yeah, it's a flat clear coat, or matte clear coat. Either way, that's what it looks like. And I don't think from hell, honestly, holding it in my hand, it don't really look painted or nothing. It kind of looks like the rest of the gun. And if it needs to be dulled up a little bit, well, then I can go over it with some sandpaper real lightly and dull it just a touch, and maybe not take off none of that finish. But y'all, if today for me to have bought and came home with a steel framed blued grip frame and back strap gun would have meant that I'd have had to give $200 more for the specific model that was there. And I really didn't see the value in giving $200 more for that model when I had a bottle of Birchwood Casey brass black at home. Y'all tell me what you think. I mean, I think it makes that gun look a whole lot better than it was in black. I mean, excuse me, in brass. Talk to y'all later. If I don't get blown away, talk to y'all later.